What's going on, YouTube? This is Shok, and this video is pretty much my final E3 thoughts. Just my last little, things I left out or more things I want to say, before E3. E3 is in exactly 6 days. It's Tuesday, right? If it's Tuesday, 6 days. It is next week, and it's crazy if you think about it because we've been waiting for this moment, like ever since E3 2011 was over. And of course, I'm specifically talking about Nintendo. Because we all know this is, Nintendo's year. This is the year of the Wii U. Even all the, Nintendo haters, are looking forward to Nintendo's conference just to see what the Wii U is about. But like I said, this is pretty much just touching up on some things about all three of the conferences. Well, not Microsoft so much, but, and things I left out, things of that nature. I really don't have anything to add, to my Microsoft, predictions. It's Microsoft. They've kind of, let me fix the camera a little bit. They kind of lost their way or whatever. They're just not about the core. The last three conferences just haven't been there, But it would be extremely funny if Microsoft came out with like this core conference, like not a single connecting mention, and they just blow us away with this awesome lineup of games for like 2012, 2013. Like that would just be freaking hilarious because that would make all of us here just look absolutely stupid as hell. Like Microsoft would own all of us if they did that. So I would love for Microsoft to come out and own me this year, but I'm keeping my expectations extremely low. I'm not expecting it, and that's pretty much all I have to say about Microsoft. Like I said, don't expect any 720 announcement because that will cut into the 360 sales, which are still going really strong. But you can't expect them to, hint, towards the 720. Because, Microsoft and Sony, they know the Wii U is launching this year. So although they don't want to announce the systems to, cut into their sales, I think they're still going to talk about them a little bit, just to kind of get the attention off the Wii U. That's what companies do. Sony, I don't know how I did this, but I left out the Last of Us in my Sony E3 predictions video, and I don't know how. I guess I was just too focused on the Vita. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a Last of Us demo, and it's from Naughty Dog, so we know it's going to be amazing. Naughty Dog is pretty much like the retro studios of Sony. They make good ass games, just hands down. And I can't wait to see what the game plays like. There really isn't that many third person zombie games, so that definitely has me interested in because most zombie games are like first person. Or they're kind of like, Dead Rising, where it's, not exactly, serious, and there's just this horde that's just standing around, you just mill through them. You guys know what I'm saying. So I'm definitely interested in that game. It's Naughty Dog. It's going to be amazing. And that's most likely going to be the last PS3 game I buy. But like I said, I think the conference is going to be like really, really focused on the Vita for the most part, because Sony has to get the Vita flying off shelves, and they got to get some compelling software out there to encourage people to buy a Vita. And, I'm going to say this, if Sony announces 3, 4, 5 games that interest me on the Vita, I will buy a Vita right then and there. I will buy one if I have, the money to. But as soon as I get the money, I will buy a Vita. I will buy a system, as long as the games are out. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I waited a whole year to buy a 3DS because, not much was out for the 3DS at launch. But after we had Mario 3D Land, Kid Icarus, Resident Evil Revelations, that was like, okay, fuck this, I can't wait, I gotta buy a 3DS because now it has games. Same thing's gonna go for the Vita. But also, not just Vita, I think the PS3 is gonna have, a landslide of, game announcements too. And like I said in my predictions video, if you missed it, the reason being is because Sony said that they're, cutting off the attention to other things, and they're kind of, doubling down on games. So basically they're making more and more games, and they're working on existing games faster than they were before. You see what I'm saying? So I expect a huge flood of games, at Sony's E3 conference. And like I said, the question arises, I definitely think they're going to have a lot of games, but are these games going to be games that people care about? You see what I'm saying? And that's the main problem there, and we're going to have to wait to see because, the PS3 has some, good exclusives, but they just, a lot of them really don't sell because people just generally just do not care for them. And they see them as, lackluster and stuff, but, that's just how it is. But I do think that we're going to get a good conference from Sony this year, simply due to the fact that, you know, they have to give a good conference. You know, after all the losses they posted, you know, all their investors and stockholders, you know, they're talking about doom and gloom for Sony and all that. So Sony is going to want to, you know, just shut them up and show them all this content that gamers are going to love, you know, stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you know, if a company gets pressured enough, you know, to the point that Sony has, you know, they have no choice but to come out strong. You see what I'm saying? But of course, we all know that it doesn't really matter what they do. You really can't top a new game announcement. You see what I'm saying? And of course, you know, if I were to say, which I am going to say, you know, this year is, you know, Nintendo's year, so Wii U's year. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, fanboy, it's a new console, people. Yeah, you know, the same thing is going to apply for next year when the 720 and PS4 are announced. Unless the announcements go bad, unless it's like a Sony 2006 conference, you know, the eyes aren't going to really be on Nintendo's conference. The eyes are going to be on Microsoft's and Sony's, because those are going to be, you know, new system announcements. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, you know, I think Nintendo's conference is just going to be just amazing. And, you know, of course, you know, oh, he's a Nintendo fan, that's why I'm saying that, yeah, you know, I'm excited for my favorite company's conference. Like, yeah, you know, you're going to get on me for that, but, anyways, I know a lot of you saw that, Jeff Keighley talking about how, the Wii U is, running, he said the president of Epic said that the Wii U is running Unreal Engine 3. It will be running Unreal Engine 3 or whatever, well, it was at that time. And that was at GDC, March earlier this year. And a lot of people took that as, oh, see, the Wii U is not supporting the Unreal Engine 4. But, like, Epic came out real quick and actually said, you know, no, we didn't say that. We haven't announced any consoles, you know, that the Unreal Engine 4 will be supporting, but we're going to announce them real soon. They actually said that. So Epic pretty much came out and, you know, debunked what was said. Now, that's not a confirmation that it will be running the Unreal 4 engine, but at the same time, they pretty much said, you know, that quote did not mean that it won't be. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm going to stick to my guns. Like I said in my Nintendo prediction videos, I still expect the Unreal Engine 4, you know, announcement this year at Nintendo's E3. Because what a lot of third-party developers have been saying is that, you know, the third parties have been giving Nintendo feedback. They've been working. Nintendo has been asking for feedback. You know, so, you know, and that would probably explain why they changed the slide pads to analog sticks. Because that's what the third-party developers wanted. So now I feel that Nintendo is listening, and there was that rumor between GDC and now that Nintendo had tweaked the Unreal 4 engine. I mean, they had tweaked the Wii U hardware to run the Unreal 4 engine. So see, I think Nintendo is really listening to developers. And like I said, there's going to be like 2 or 3, you know, a few third-party, you know, exclusive announcements. I also forgot to say this. I expect to see GTA 5 at Nintendo's conference. Because if Nintendo really wants to show, you know, that they care about the hardcore, the Wii U is going to have these hardcore games. You know, what better game to show that than Grand Theft Auto 5? Like, that's probably the best game, period. And I'm not going to predict this, but if Nintendo was smart, they would get some timed, you know, exclusivity for Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, if they did that, that would be the smartest thing they could do. If the Wii U had Grand Theft Auto 5 even just a month before the other platforms, that would help out tremendously. A lot more people would buy a Wii U if Grand Theft Auto 5 had like time exclusivity. But yeah, Nintendo, they really need to start jumping on that, you know, on those tactics like that. Try to get, you know, an advantage over the other systems when it comes to, you know, timed, you know, exclusive content and time exclusivity, you know, stuff like that. Nintendo needs that. Now, they shouldn't rely on it, but I'm saying just, you know, kicking off the console, you know, early in its life, it will be very, very beneficial. Like I said, maybe I think there's going to be an Eternal Darkness 2, because Silicon Knights was talking about how they're close partners with Nintendo, and they're working on a heavily requested sequel to IP. Kind of sounds like Eternal Darkness 2, especially when you mix that in the fact that Nintendo renewed the license to Eternal Darkness 2. And there was also that rumor a long time ago that Nintendo was making this exclusive car simulator game, which would also be very beneficial because, you know, Nintendo doesn't really have a realistic, you know, a car sim franchise. They have, you know, F-Zero and Mario Kart, and while those are fun games, you know, they're not real life racing games. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm really excited for Nintendo's conference, but at the same time, I'm going in there with a level head. I'm not saying, I'm not expressing doubts about their conference, anything like that. I'm just going in there with a moderate hype level, so that way when they reveal, all these Megatons, it'll be just more epic than it normally would have. You see what I'm saying? But I think this year's E3 is going to be really great. We've really never had 2 years in a row of bad E3s, because 2011 was really bad. And while the Wii U announcement was shocking, like when we saw that controller, like whoa, what the hell? Like that's so weird and different. While that was weird, I can't talk right now. While that was weird, at the same time they didn't reveal it very well. And they didn't put any emphasis on the console at all. Like all the emphasis was on the controller. So for that reason, and we all know Microsoft failed, and Sony's was pretty much, it really wasn't that surprising at all. 2011 is pretty lackluster, which leads me to believe that 2012 is just going to be freaking awesome. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Guys, E3 is next week. It is next Monday. Well, actually, all the early stuff is actually going to be starting Sunday, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Monday is when Microsoft's first conference starts. And I also believe that EA's conference is going to be on Monday too. EA and Ubisoft, or is Ubisoft's Tuesday? I gotta remember the schedule. But yeah, Microsoft's going to be Monday, and Sony's also going to be Monday later at like 6 p.m. Pacific time, I think. And then Nintendo's going to be Tuesday, 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, which is 11 o'clock Central time, which is, you could just do the conversion if you live over in the East or whatever. So yeah, I'll definitely be watching those conferences. I'll be watching Nintendo's on Spike TV and Microsoft's. They're streaming Microsoft's, right? Yeah. Somebody said that Nintendo had kicked Microsoft's conference out on Spike TV, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, if it's on there, I'm going to be watching Microsoft and Nintendo's on Spike. Spike isn't showing Sony, so I'm going to have to just deal with the live stream for Sony. I hate watching the live streams because it's always stuttering and all that bull crap, always technical difficulties. But I have DirecTV, so I don't have G4. And G4 is where I've been watching these conferences for all these years. But you guys know, if you have DirecTV, DirecTV pretty much just said, G4 is garbage, we don't want that anymore. So I couldn't watch E3 on TV for a while. But thank you, Spike, for streaming Nintendo's conference, so now I can watch Nintendo's conference on TV. And I'm not going to make any promises here, but what I'm going to try to do is, while I'm watching it on TV, also do a live stream on it, with my laptop right beside me, so you guys can hear, my live reactions to it. You see what I'm saying? To all the conferences. And what me and a couple of YouTubers were thinking was about getting in a Skype call during E3. And then like uploading that to YouTube. I think that would be a freaking awesome video. That would be highly entertaining. Because all the people you're sub to in the same Skype call, watching E3 live together, that would be pretty damn badass and entertaining for you guys. So we're thinking about it. Again, no promises here. But it was a thought we had. We might do it. Who knows? But that's pretty much all I want to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the vid. I really don't have much more to say about E3. Now we're just at the point where we just wait. Just wait and we see what happens. But that's pretty much it for this video. I'll catch you fools later.